Good morning, everybody. I am in Kearney, Nebraska, and this is Archway Lake number 1. And there's the Archway that goes over I-80. Kind of a cool tourist attraction. It talks about transportation and the history of how everything came to be. I recommend it. But yeah, here's the lake. It's 30 acres. I have been here numerous times and I always forget about this lake. I am not going to call this an interstate lake because it's kind of a lake on its own. I mean, the interstate's right there and the interstate lakes are done. I did those last year, so I'm going to call this lake a standalone lake. It's kind of by itself. So yeah, it's the 5th of July. I didn't do much for fireworks or anything. I was in bed by 9:30 last night and got up about 5, and it is 9:30. Just rolled into town. So yeah, this is Kearney. And after this, I'm gonna head towards Gothenburg. So let's go check this out. I remember when I did all those interstate lakes and it was so loud. Oh my gosh. For like, what was it, like 14 lakes? Just non-stop noise. And I can hear it again. It's just to the left of us. It's loud. I don't miss that one bit. But yeah, this is a really nice lake. Like I said, I've been in this direction so many times. It feels like I'm always in Kearney, doing lakes or driving through it. And I just discovered this lake 3 months ago, and I discovered it on Google Maps. And the last time I was here, I drove by this lake to make sure it had a boat ramp, and it did. So I put it on the list. And it's really windy. I am fighting the wind hard today. Wow. Off to our right here and straight ahead are depictions of buffalo or bison. there's a walking trail that goes throughout this park, and it shows you the history of man. And I think over there to our right is a sod house, how the pioneers used to live. Then back there I showed you the buffalo or the bison. I think there's a teepee somewhere that gives the history of the Native Americans. And inside the actual place, the Archway, it gives you a history of transportation and how far we've come. It, you know, it goes from like the Pony Express to I-80. It's actually pretty cool. Growing up, I spent a lot of time at Disneyland in California, and it kind of reminds me of a ride like that. It has a lot of, you know, mannequins that are portrayed in their era, and there's a lot of sound and moving parts. It's kind of cool. I recommend it. But the water's really clear right here. And here's the end of Archway Lake. Very nice lake. Nothing crazy, just a nice simple lake. Right next to the Archway. And right next to Loud I-80. And right there, that building right there is the Nebraska Firemen's Museum. So I've never been in there. It, you know, probably shows the history of firefighters and firemen in the state of Nebraska. I'm sure it's interesting. It's just not my cup of tea. All right, well, let's head back to the boat ramp. Very nice. And then right there is the Archway. I've had my other camera underwater pretty much this whole time. Hopefully I got some cool footage. The water was kind of clear along the way. Started off this morning like at 57 degrees at home, and I put on a long sleeve shirt. I'm still wearing it, and I'm getting kind of warm. Getting kind of toasty out here. It's supposed to be 80 today, and it seems like every time I do one of these trips I jinx it. I always say, hey, I'm out here for 3 days and I'm gonna kayak 10 lakes. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but I plan on doing about 6 lakes on this trip, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, but no wind, like 5 miles an hour. So I'd rather deal with the rain than the wind, to be honest with you. So tomorrow will be interesting. My stopping point tonight is in Broken Bow. I booked a room in Broken Bow, Nebraska, which is about an hour and a half from here. And there's a bunch of lakes that are around Broken Bow, so I'm making that kind of my home ground, my home base. But it's supposed to rain pretty much all day tomorrow, but no wind. So cross your fingers. And it's supposed to be windy today, but beautiful. So I'm trying to get as many lakes as I can done today. And all of the lakes on my list are really small, except for one. And the one is kind of out of reach. It's not exactly in this area. So I think the largest lake on my list for this trip is this one. I think this is the largest one, 30 acres. Everything else is below that. So they are very manageable in the wind. And I am rowing with the wind right now, so this is kind of nice. But yeah, I hope you guys all had a nice 4th, a safe 4th of July. I didn't do anything. I was in bed by 9:30, and I'm not really a big fan of fireworks. As I get older, they've become more of a nuisance. I'm becoming that old man that yells at clouds. So they were loud, but I managed to fall asleep. But yeah, it's not my thing. It was my thing when I was a kid, but not anymore. But I figured things shouldn't be too busy this weekend, and these lakes that I'm going to are small and kind of obscure, so hopefully they're not crazy with a bunch of people and stuff. We'll find out. exactly sure what's on top of that building right there. It kind of looks like a dragon with the spikes. I'm not really sure what that has to do with Nebraska or transportation. And both buildings have it. Kind of odd. Morning. How are you? Beautiful morning. Yes. Well, there's the boat ramp right there in front of us. Very nice. This was Archway Lake number 1. Now I believe there's other lakes in this little area, but I don't think the other ones have these little boat ramps. And I think one of them is private. So I'm just gonna do this one. And yeah, I'm in Kearney. Beautiful lake. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you on the next one.